We have set up a Patreon. We have set up a Patreon.
Patreon, however you want to say it.
A Patreon. We have set up a Patreon.
What that does is that just helps us get things like train tickets, petrol
Yeah.
for you. And it helps us get to bigger and better guests. We'll be doing cool little things on there, like
Nice little giveaways.
You can put in your questions, and then we can talk to you. So yeah, please go on to
www.patreon.com/overrated everything.
Hello, podcast listeners.
Hello.
Episode number 10.
Yeah.
A whole decade of episodes.
Yeah.
Is it still? Was that a decade still?
Well, it feels like a decade. It's certainly a lot harder than we thought it was going to be when we first come up with the idea, but in like a brilliant way. It's been dead rewarding in so many different things, hasn't it? Like,
It has, man. I think
meeting sick people.
I was just going to say we've met some great people. We've met some people that like we're probably going to be friends with now, which is nice. And
Yeah.
we've met people who we look up to.
Yeah.
People who we, admire for their work. Like, we've met some really fucking cool people, haven't we, man?
Yeah, man. And it's been a pleasure to get to have the chats with these people about something that's just totally random.
Yeah.
And like, with the guests that we've had on, like with previous guests like Stephen Graham and, a lot of other guests who have been in the industry for a long time, and how they got into the industry, how long they've been doing it, what they're most famous for, what they love and hate about the industry. Whereas this is like, it's been brilliant to just hear just any old bullshit, really, isn't it?
That's it, and just have mad chats, and just be with them people for like an hour and a half. And I know you guys who are listening enjoy that. So you may be noticing, the avid listeners out there, last week at the end of the podcast, we said that that will be a two-parter, and we'll be back with Georgie Porter this week. Obviously, you've clicked onto the podcast. You know that we've not got Georgie Porter.
Yeah, she's not as beautiful as she was.
And now she sounds like Shotty Horroh. We have got Shotty Horroh on the podcast this week. What it is, part 2 of Georgie Porter's episode. We had quite a few technical difficulties, so the episode was quite short, a lot shorter than they normally are.
It ended up being like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
like
with us chatting around the end, it's probably about half an hour or so, I think.
Which isn't long enough, I don't think.
No, we feel like we'd cheat the listeners if we put it out as a normal podcast. So what we've done, being the freaking legends that we are, we've gone and found someone who a few of you have been quite vocal on Twitter about.
Yeah, we've had a lot of tweets about him, haven't we?
We've Shotty, yeah, and we've got him on the show. And what we're going to do, just so you guys don't feel cheated, it's December, we want to give you a little bit extra. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop what we do have of Georgie's episode, which, to be honest, is quite a nice chat, even though it ends slightly abruptly. We're going to put that out during the week at some point.
Yeah, probably like a midweek thing, innit?
Yeah, probably like Wednesday, get you through your hump day. And yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy that. But yeah, today's episode for your Monday morning is Shotty Horroh.
Yeah.
Who I've only really met probably about 4 months ago, something like that.
For the first time.
The first time.
I mean, for me, it was the first time meeting him today, and what a geezer, man! Like, he's such a legend. He's just so cool as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke, mate. And like his music's. If you've not listened to his music, go and listen to Salt of the Earth. It's on Spotify and probably everywhere else that you get your music from. It's a great album. Like we say in the podcast that like a lot of people nowadays sing about being rich or rap about being rich and being... Do you want these off? Yeah, there you go. Do that.
Yeah, I want to sit in darkness.
We're going to sit in darkness now. A lot of people, sing or rap about being rich and having fast cars and this and that. And what I like about Shotty in his music is he's done the opposite, like a lot of good artists do. He's talking about being skint and
he's really relatable to a lot of people our age who who can really, really connect with his music.
Yeah, definitely.
And he's sick, man. He's a bit he's very Jamie T / Arctic Monkeys / a number of other people. Like his tracks are so different. It's very like, I think Plan B, so versatile. Do you know what I mean? In his album.
Man. Yeah, I think he just said, "I want to make a rock and roll album. I like rock and roll. I want to make a rock and roll album," because he was known as a rapper. He's like one of the most watched rap battlers in the world. Like I think he is the most watched rap battler in the world. And yeah, just decided I want to make a bit more of a rocky kind of thing, and it's a fucking great album.
It's brilliant. Man. It's very. If you haven't listened to it before, you don't need to. You'll still enjoy it first time round. And I've shown a lot of my mates, particularly the friends who are big into music.
Yeah.
And they love him, man. They think he's sick. So if you haven't listened,
go and listen.
Listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we won't chat for too long because we shot you for about an hour or so. So episode number 10, all the way in Manchester, like we don't live. Like
it's not very far for you, but for me, it's a very long way.
With the amazingly talented, all-round cool guy talking about something that I didn't really want to talk about, but Tomo relished. Shotty Horroh, saying Jose Mourinho and Manchester United are overrated.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're here with Shotty Horroh, someone who a lot of you have been. I think we promised that we'd have you on a little while ago on one of the shows, or we mentioned that you were up for it, and we've had loads of tweets. People like, get Shotty on, Shotty on.
Wednesday's episode, Wednesday's episode.
I'm going to put my foot in it. That's why I didn't know I'm going to say something. Put my foot in it. Get in trouble.
But it's a good one that we tried to get in, and we appreciate you really busy. But yeah, finally we're sat down with you, man. It's an honour to have you on.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, man.
Thank you for coming on, mate. Like I obviously only met you not too long ago. Got a mutual friend who we had on episode 2.
The legend.
The legend that is Lewis Bison Briggs.
What a guy.
And got into music through being friends with him, and then put you onto it as well.
Yeah, he put me in touch with it because I'd not heard any of the music, but then when Andy showed me, fucking hell, man, yeah. And even a lot of the lads in Grimsby now who might not necessarily be into that sort of music, fucking love it.
I mean, we're trying to find a balance with the sound, and indie rock and roll's always been like a representative of, what's going on in the city at the time, and anytime something bad, or even not just the city, in the world, anytime something bad's going on, rock and roll pops out and that. Speaks for the people.
And
it's real, isn't it?
Yeah, I think this time, the difference this time around is the incorporation of all the different cultures that's happened in the UK, and that since the likes of Stone Roses and all that. So that's where you find more of
and bringing
rapping
in
and that.
Yeah, I was going to say bringing in your kind of rapping stuff's pretty mint as well, because I always say, like, nowadays, like, I grew up and I only listened to hip hop because I could go and spend my money on an Eminem CD.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where nowadays kids get £10 a month on Spotify, they can listen to anything. So mix of music is banging because that's what kids want.
That's like the culture now, isn't it? Like, it's not so, like you say, it's not so much genre specific anymore. A listener's not so much like, I only listen to this, I can't listen to anything else. I remember there was more of a culture of that back in the day. Everyone was sectioned off. You're a hip hop head, or you're a rocker, or you're a mosher, or whatever.
That's it. I remember we used to hate moshers.
That's it, for no reason. I didn't know
about moshy bashing.
Mosher bashing and stuff. Because you listen to fucking Slipknot. Do you know what I mean? I fucking love them.
I was happy hardcore. Mine was proper hardcore.
Right.
Like Darren
donk
style, like donk stuff.
That's wicked.
Yeah,
I remember actually you playing
Animals and all that sort of stuff.
What was that fucking horrible song you played for me? That. I want to be a hippie and I like to get stoned.
Legendary tune, actually.
That's the sort of shit that my mum used to listen to.
Yeah, man.
So I was always into that, but then again, like when sort of Apple Music and Spotify and all that shit started coming, it really the divide wasn't really a thing anymore, was it?
Because that's it. Because you can just go, I'll listen to that.
Yeah, instead of having to pay a tenner for an indie album, and then a tenner for a rock album, and then a tenner for a reggae. Whereas now you can pay a tenner and you can just get it all, and it's so fucking easy.
That's it. And as well, if you've just seen Spotify have just been releasing the highlights, have you seen it? Like,
just had mine on the way over.
Yeah,
you was on the top of one of mine.
There you go. Thank you very much. And if you see a lot of everyone's list is really like eclectic.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Everyone's got a bit of this and a bit of that in the list, and that's so it's good.
Yeah.
Mine was a bit fucked though because my missus shares my Spotify,
Oh,
so,
right.
so it had like cool shit, it had
yeah.
like you on there, it had like the Beatles, like really cool shit, and then fucking sorry Tomo, but Ed Sheeran and shit like
Well,
that.
he's-
apologising to
Yeah,
me.
he's going to claim that they're not his on the podcast.
No,
Yeah, fucking not. And then like, do you want to build a snowman and that? Like my little girl listens to, not me, honestly.
But I'm into any sort of music. Like now, when people say what kind of music you're into, there's like, it's not really. There's nothing that I'm
redundant
into.
question,
yeah.
It's like if you press random on my Spotify, it can go from Justin Bieber to yourself, to Drake to Andrea Bocelli, it's anything like. It's so
I posted
random.
a thing on Instagram yesterday, and it's like when you press shuffle on my iPhone, and it's a picture of Tupac, like fist bumping someone, but then they put like Mozart's head on it.
Yeah.
I think it's Mozart. I don't know, but I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much me.
But it's brilliant. I mean, we've chatted on the podcast, haven't we, about how some of our guests think that technology is overrated.
Yeah.
Whereas for that sort of shit, it's not.
It's
It's
really
not.
not.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it's amazing, and like almost like the term guilty pleasure don't exist anymore, innit? Really,
No.
everyone's kind of like happy with.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Besides you and Ed Sheeran.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, like,
Pre-
pre-podcast, we were talking about my missus wanting to go see the Spice Girls. It might not have just been my missus, you know what I mean?
So for the listeners, basically, Andy texted me saying, do you want to go to London and see the Spice Girls? And I just texted him back saying, if you ever fucking ask me that again, I'll block your number and I'll get Andrew Shimmin to host his podcast.
You get the other end.
You get the better one.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
But you know, I've been to see. God, I think on my 22nd birthday, I flew over to Dublin to see Justin Bieber.
Wow.
Shit, yeah, remember that?
I think I've seen Justin Bieber probably 5 or 6 times.
You're a bit of a believer, aren't you?
No, I'm not a believer. I'm just quite fascinated.
Well,
by
I
his
think
life.
going to 6 shows
Nah.
puts you down as a believer, innit? 6 shows.
Yeah, that's
I'd say
fucking
one.
definitely believer, mate.
One is curious.
You're talking at least 30-40 quid a ticket for the Beeb show,
Yeah,
aren't you?
yeah. But I don't know. I've got a fascination in his life, man. I like imagine having to deal with that.
That's
So
true.
we was talking pre-podcast, weren't we, about the Beckhams, and about how their kids must have been so like, what the fuck, growing up. And again with Justin Bieber, like his fucking life must be insane. Like.
Yeah,
Same
but
Michael Jackson, innit?
It's like a
Michael Jackson.
Yeah,
MJ,
Michael Jackson,
Britney Spears when she was a bit. She's managed to sort of get hold of it a bit now, hasn't she? But she went through a bad thing.
She
What's the
shakes her
difference
head.
with them though, as well, is like the Beckham's kids as well. Like they're kind of like, you know, like what's his name, the Prince George, a little kid. Like they were born into it a bit more.
Yeah.
Like Justin Bieber, like he got discovered when he was young, didn't he? But he'd still had a bit of normal life.
Yeah.
And then got discovered where, like you say, like the Beckham's
I think normal
kids
to an
were just
extent.
born into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, normal to an extent, obviously.
We're living in a big house in the States and all.
Oh yeah. What was it?
Most likely.
Oh right, yeah.
With his
probably.
haircut.
And being,
That's a big house in the States.
You know what I
kind of
mean?
haircut.
Yeah, you see when he was a kid, that haircut, he had this like a little helmet.
Yeah.
They had expensive haircuts.
They don't come cheap. They're not.
They're
They're,
for
they're not
parents.
your mum in the kitchen
Nah,
with
they're
clippers.
parents that are really investing in the look of the family, you know, and keeping up with the Joneses. The privets are good, and Justin's hair's mint.
Yeah,
yeah,
so he'll
he's
make
got a
it.
good head of hair,
That's
hasn't
He's
he?
fucking done him well though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's going off the rails a bit now though. I've seen him with that
Yeah.
weird moustache and the bleached blonde hair, and he's always like tweaking. It looks like he's always busking and that somewhere.
Yeah.
Again though, like say, like getting that rich that quick and that young, it must mess with your head.
Yeah,
Definitely.
man, and especially like at that age as well, you're not able to make your own mistakes in life without the whole world judging you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think Amy Winehouse was a great example of this. Like, she had all the press all over the world. Everyone was down her throat, and if she made a mistake, I don't know, it's something with a fella Pete Doherty or everything was in the paper all the time. She couldn't make the same mistakes that a 25-year-old girl needs to make.
Yeah,
she
that's
can't
true.
learn
Behind
by herself.
closed doors.
Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with Justin Bieber, and it's the same with Michael Jackson, and and I think the press have got. I think they had a major role in Amy Winehouse's death, and it's just such a sad reality, isn't it? And more so now, especially just because Justin Bieber's so recognisable on his social media as well. He's got all that whole thing, that cut for Bieber. Did you see that?
Yeah.
What?
So there was young girls who was cutting the wrist.
Sure.
Like self
Because what was it?
stuff.
Because he had a joint or something like that, was it?
Yeah. And I feel pretty bad, but I had a lyric about that once. I was basically just saying I'll go and smoke a spliff with Justin Bieber and send it to his fans. Didn't really realise the gravity of the situation at the time.
So did you get... if the Believers get hold of that as well, you're fucked on social.
That's it. But they kind of was a bit lenient with me as well. I think a couple of them got me, and I was like, hang about, it's just...
The thing is, though, is, it's rapping. It's clever lyrics, isn't it? Like, you don't... Again, like, this is another thing that pisses me off is, like, people get offended over anything nowadays, and you've got to go, hang about, he's a stand-up comedian. He's meant to make you go, oh.
It's kind of what you sign up for.
You're a rapper. Exactly. Imagine like Eminem coming out nowadays and not being able to say the shit that he said back in the day.
No, it's crazy because it's a reflection of society and how some people think, and poking fun at how some people think and all that, and confronting certain words and certain things and narratives and that. It's good for society, whether you agree with it or not. Like you agree with what M said or didn't. 90% of the stuff Eminem said, it was just shock value in it. He didn't mean all that stuff.
Exactly.
Great rhymes or whatever. That's
but it's mad. It's like people make someone will watch a film and they'll know that that's not real. Yeah. But it's the same. Like you're just writing your own film in your lyrics in a way. Yeah. You're telling a story just through a different platform. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
But you get held accountable for it.
If you bring if you bring arm to Justin Bieber, you're fucked on the streets.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, they're everywhere. The Believers.
Oh yeah, there's one in front of you now, man. Yeah. 6 shows, you fucking mad.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Manchester, a couple of festivals. Yeah, about 4 times I think. Yeah.
So we'll come on to your subject now because it is a big one. I know you were saying pre-pod. You don't know because I'm a Red. I'm not massively into footy. Yeah. But I am a Manchester United fan, and like you were saying, it's probably not as overrated anymore because they are pretty shit now.
Yeah, they're not doing so great.
At the minute, I'd say at the minute they're a bit. I feel like we're kicking someone down.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's someone I'm willing to kick.
So you're famously, as in a lot of your lyrics say, you're a Blue, aren't you? Man City fan. Yeah. Yeah, which at the minute are just fucking untouchable.
Yeah,
pretty much. Have you always been a Blue?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. As long as I love football, I'm in a Red family, born into a Red family.
Yeah. Oh really? You're in a Blue family, aren't you?
Yeah, my dad's a City fan, and then I just again I was born kind of. I suppose right place, right time for a United fan. Like 1990, I was born.
During the treble.
So as I was growing up, it was like United were fucking smashing it, and I went to the matches with my uncle. Like he took me to the matches and that. So but like I say, I'm not massively into footy. I enjoy it every now and again and that, but I love the passion that people have for it. And like yourself, like you say, I know that you're quite a passionate Blue. My dad is like, I hate it because I want United to be doing well, but like I say, I remember for years like my dad just fucking hating City, loving them because it's in his blood and he loves them. He's from a proper Blue family. But like you say, just they were doing shit, weren't they? And then all of a sudden,
didn't they?
And that can't go away. I can't get. If you listen to the album, we brought the album out in 2018. Essay on the essay, and City lost, give a toss, same old shit. I'm glad I didn't watch, because that was 20 plus years of that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it can get difficult.
This has just been recent. Do you know what I mean? I was talking to my brother before and just saying if we get relegated tomorrow, I'll be happy with what we've done.
What you've done.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
And you get all these fans that say, "Oh, Man City just because they've got all this money, they're doing so well." Yeah. But that's not true.
No.
I think because Man United have got a lot of money.
Yeah.
And they're not doing so well at the minute.
So, I know Leicester didn't have a lot of money.
Exactly.
I
mean, of course it does help because you can bring in your players like De Bruyne and Aguero, who are the rocks of the team. Yeah. And again, you've got brilliant Edison in goal. Yeah. You've got a great squad, but you need someone there. I think like Pep Guardiola. Yeah. He's got so much respect for the players, so much respect for the fans, so much respect for the opposition as well. He'll be on that pitch after every game. Yeah. Check every single man on that field.
He's been in trouble for a few times, and for giving tips to the opposition.
I saw that.
And, talked to a few lads.
Want a bit of Hector Bellerin or something? Was he giving Bellerin?
There was a few. It was the one before. There was one before it. Quite. Like the first one, first one was like, I can't remember the player it was, but it was quite controversial because no one had seen that happen before.
No, yeah.
And the press actually thought he was shouting at the kid because of how passionate he is.
And what was he doing? Just giving it.
He was just saying, you know, you shouldn't let us overlap this way and all that because you're the best on this team. And next time when you play against us, make sure you cover this and do that. And
I mean,
that's fucking
it's a
nice,
fucking love for the game, man. And again, it's the respectful thing about the sport. I mean, Mourinho. I'm looking at his name on the telly now. Look, there he is. Mourinho. I mean, there's no denying that he was a great manager, but I think at Man United, I don't know. I don't think he's got the respect from the fans. I don't think he's got any respect for the club. You know, is he still doing that thing where he walks off the pitch at the 85th minute? Does he still do that? Really? He doesn't stay for the whole game.
It's the aggressive. It's like the aggressive, like entitled way he talks about the team or himself or his players, and these are young guys. You know what I mean? And he'll just leave them out to dry. And that's even if it is their fault as a manager, you're not meant to say that out in public.
Yeah, that's between
down
you
to them and all that. At the end of the day, the buck stops with the gaffer, innit? With the manager.
Yeah.
The thing with Jose, I think personally, is he's a negative manager, defensive manager, play with great attacking footballers in the team. Like there's no, I don't like him, but there's no denying that they've got great footballers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got great. I mean, individually, United have got a great squad.
Yeah.
But
world class players, and you know, but like I say, that comes down to the way the manager's playing them, and that. Didn't he have again? It's a bit of this is like Chinese when you guys are talking, but it didn't he have an argument with one of the players the other week? Wasn't they like a bit of a beef between?
Well, he'd come out and he said they didn't have a mad dog, and he kind of like put blame on Paul Pogba again and certain players. A lot of people are on Pogba, aren't they? At the end of Graham Souness is on Pogba and all that. But the book does stop with the manager. Like you say, he's had the same. You know, he's spending 300 million here and there, same as us. You revered as one of the best. At one point, he was called the special one.
Well, yeah, that's it. He managed Chelsea, didn't he, for a while? And
did good.
Like did really good with them.
Madrid as well. Didn't he? Was it Real
but you're
Madrid?
walking into teams. You're walking into settled teams like Chelsea and Madrid. You just got to kind of keep the plate spinning.
And he's not done that now.
Do that.
But then because before him we had Moyes, David Moyes.
But David Moyes has got a better record than.
No, but this is what I'm saying, because the teams for me as a sort of United fan, quote unquote, like, I bet you're loving that. When Ferguson left, the team just instantly fell apart a bit. Like we haven't had a decent season really since he fucked off.
Yeah.
So is it Jose Mourinho's fault? Did he walk into an established team, or did he walk into after what was Moyes there for 3 or 4 years or something?
Yeah, it wasn't so much an established team. He's made some changes. I think he's made a lot of knee-jerk changes.
Yeah.
Again, mind games. It could be mind games or whatnot, but I think these are moves that Pep has forced. A lot of the times we was in competition for Pogba, we was in competition for Alexis Sanchez and all these types of things, and Jose Mourinho got them. Pipped us to the post with them signings, luckily enough for us.
Do you reckon, again... yeah, true. Going into that, obviously, Man United being overrated, they're not playing great at the minute, but what do you reckon is the draw then for these young lads like Pogba to not go to City and to go to... Do you reckon, though? Because I don't reckon... No, because I'm sure he'd get fucking what he wanted from City, right?
Yeah.
So... Yeah. Do you not reckon it is a bit of that kind of... to me, whenever anyone says, and I think you said this either off mic but United...
Are a business, mate.
Are a brand. United when I was a kid...
They're like Coca-Cola and...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was a Chicago Bulls fan. Because I grew up around Michael Jordan, Space Jam, all that shit. NBA 97 on the PlayStation.
I loved it.
I'd never watched a basketball match in my life. Yeah, and I was the biggest Chicago Bulls fan in the world. I mean, I love basketball now. I try and watch it as much as possible. But so that for me is over in the States, because that's another thing that other sort of not just City fans, but other fans say, oh, your fans are from Asia and all that. And it's but we're a brand over there. When they see Manchester United, it's like us seeing the Chicago Bulls logo or the Nike logo or whatever. Yeah. So do you reckon that has a pull for the players as well as the money, or
100%, definitely. Old Trafford is it's like a Disneyland, and
it is fucking. I mean,
people from all over the world want to go there and see it. There's just You know, people get on City's case, call it the empty ad and whatnot, because you can't fill a stadium and whatnot. I reckon that is down to brand
Etihad
away.
when it's been full.
Me too.
When Ed Sheeran was playing.
Definitely. I was at the Derby the other day. It was rammed.
Mate, honestly, I did that. I went to see the Stone Roses and sent me mate who's a City fan a video like, it's fucking full tonight.
But the thing is what I reckon that's down to is what people forget is, you know, both clubs are very working class clubs.
They are.
In its original essence,
man.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And like you brought up a point there, is United had a massive outreach from the 80s and whatnot. They've already they've been on that marketing stuff for years. So, you know, they signed players from the Asias and the Africas and all that, and they tapped into these markets and they had more brand exposure early on, which turned into more revenue, which buys you Eric Cantona's and whatnot. It's just brilliant stuff. The rest of the clubs around the world are catching up now.
Yeah, because I mean, I remember it's not really been that long, has it? That City have been at the Etihad. I remember Main Road,
wasn't it? Before?
Yeah, because it was the Commonwealth Stadium.
Yeah.
It was made for the Commonwealth 2012, was it?
No, 2002.
Bloody hell, I feel old.
I remember going and watching the rugby.
It was 2002.
Sevens or something there.
Yeah.
And then it was like the year after or a couple of years after, wasn't it, that City took it over.
So we had it on like a licence for a while. We was renting it. And they give us stick. Yeah, they called it the council house.
I think it's the way City are going now. Though you've got your cities and even like Leicester, like kids. I know because I'll say it before you say it.
Go on.
When I was a kid, I followed United, but I didn't follow him because I was a fan of football.
Yeah.
I followed him because my oldest brother was Man United.
Probably because of that brand
and
thing.
Because of the I mean, I probably never used to watch him on telly, but I'd get my mum to buy me the new shirt and stuff like that. But I never really supported the team. I supported the brand.
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays, kids who are sort of 6, 7, 8, 9, if they're not playing Fortnite, they'll be watching football.
Yeah.
So now they're not going to be watching Man United fucking cane it all the time.
Yeah.
You're going to be watching your
it,
Leicesters and even West Ham's who are up there, and it's good for the sport that not everyone's going to be supporting the winners. Do you know what I mean?
I reckon as well when we was kids growing up, you didn't have something as comprehensive as like FIFA. These kids are playing FIFA, and it's such a deep database of players and teams that they can get used to and become household names every day. They start new seasons every day in their house, and this player from Leicester, that player. So they get an affinity with other players rather than just the ones that the BBC and that was super promoting
like
at the time and whatnot. Because
Ultimate Team on FIFA, you can get other players in from
all over. And like these kids now, like you talk to these kids who are like 13, 14, they're like, oh, have you heard of this player? Have a fuck heard of that player? What do you mean? From like some Sao Paulo team or something, and that, you know, like there's more brand awareness to the players and to the teams.
Because the players are becoming brands themselves as well, aren't they?
Yeah, well, Ronaldo's a business, isn't he, really?
Unbelievable business. Apparently, what it was when he left Madrid, Madrid lost 2 million followers on Instagram, and Juventus gained 2 million overnight.
Wow,
he's the most followed on Instagram anyway.
Facebook, I know he is definitely. I don't know. You're probably on Instagram.
I think about 102 million or something he's got on.
Have you got a bit of hate for it? Because I know, like, again, I'm just using like my dad as a reference. Like like my dad's proper blue. Like he wouldn't even buy a red car. Do you know what I mean, or anything like so? Like anytime like. Even when like Beckham was fucking scoring world is for England and like just doing amazing things, my dad would be like, "Fucking no," because he's assigned himself with United at one point in his career.
I think there's always going to be that like fucking rivalry and disdain and all that amongst the majority. The minority of people are going to have that real hatred and all that.
Yeah.
But more so, they need the rivalry. But more so now, it's more like a bit of like. I don't know. It's more friendly now, and like, you know, City are doing so well. It's not really a problem for us. It's almost the way they looked at us back in the day, where it wasn't a threat, and so it comes off condescending or whatnot. But United fans, people used to say United fans are so smug and cocky, and we're talking about the majority or the large majority of United fans, not all of them. Some of them are diamonds out there. But you know, there used to be a certain United fan, or there is a certain United fan.
Yeah, definitely.
Briggsy, mate, Briggsy. Let's talk about Briggsy.
He's a big
delusional,
red,
absolutely delusional.
I think a lot of Man
Did you see him standing up on that chair about fucking England, rapping about it?
Absolutely mental, delusional guy. Like,
but I mean,
a lot of them are. A lot of United fans are.
Again, you can see where that's coming from, because for the majority of Briggsy's life, United were untouchable
and doing amazing things in like the last minute and like
exactly.
Like Michael Owen or Owen Hargreaves scoring in like the 98th minute or something.
Shit, they had the Champions League with Sheringham and Solskjaer when they bagged the net against Bayern and that, and then they had the Champions League final when John Terry missed a penalty and stuff like this. So there's these moments that just gives them
monumental.
They'll never count them out.
Yeah.
So you kind of respect it. They've been through it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I look at them like I look at Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was once the greatest champion, innit?
I think you said this the other day. I heard you saying this the other day. No, it's fucking true though.
It's amazing how a lot of United fans still think they're the best team in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got mates who are armchair fans who sit in the pub on a Sunday afternoon after about 8 pints screaming when fucking Lukaku scores an equaliser against Stoke.
Yeah.
But then it's like they're the biggest United fans in the world and you say to them, you've been to Old Trafford? That's alright. You say to them, have you been to Old Trafford, mate? They go, no. Yeah. Or I went once for Soccer Aid.
Yeah, it's but again, man, you know, like
but
you
then
said
it goes down
on,
to money as well.
Exactly. So, like you said, both them teams, especially, and a lot of football teams, it is a working man's sport in it, and you know, back in the day, it was really cheap to go and watch them and that. But now, man, like it is overpriced. Like I think I'd genuinely go if it was a lot cheaper because I'm not a big football fan, but I enjoy going to the match.
The atmosphere, and there's something nice about being with the boys on a Saturday afternoon with your bets on and going to the matches. It's fucking brilliant. I love it. I do.
Because you're a Grimsby fan, aren't you?
I'm a Town fan. So again, I followed United until my dad took me to see a Grimsby Town game when I was would have been about 12.
Yeah.
And ever since then, that's when I understood football.
Right.
That's when I got what football was. Yeah. And being at Blundell Park, you're right in there. You're inches away from the pitch. You can hear them screaming. You can hear the passion. Whereas when you go to Old Trafford, you're sat up in the gods. You know what I mean? You can't really see much.
See, I prefer that. Like when was it? About a year ago now. A mate of mine couldn't make the match and he'd been offered a box.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Yeah, box at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Shittest experience I've had."
I'm like,
it was just like. You may as well be sat at home watching it on the telly.
It's
like
true.
you're just so far removed from the because the atmosphere for me is the best bit about it. Like I say, I enjoy, like you say, putting a bet on with the lads, getting in there, having you can't even have a pint at the side anymore, can you? You can't even drink on the side.
I could never ever remember that though. That was well before my time.
I think I remember obviously I didn't have a pint, but I remember going like with my uncle and that, and he'd have a pint and a fucking pie and all that.
Yeah, you have to now you have to drop them off at the concourse or whatever, unless. You're in the Tunnel Club at Man City.
Oh yeah,
and you can just sneak indoors and have your beer.
I've been in there. One of my friends.
Shouts to Danny and Ollie and all that, and the lads at Man City for always looking after the fans in the community and like some overrated clubs.
No, I've been in that Tunnel Club at the Etihad.
You did bits
amazing.
For him, didn't you?
I mean, I've got a friend who works for the club, and they do that Man City Live thing in the square.
Yeah, of course.
So I've done that, and they look after us again me because my fiance's father-in-law he's a massive Man City fan.
Yeah.
So
and he's from.
He's from Grimsby, yeah. Good man. But they just sort of invited us down, give you the food's fucking amazing.
Lovely, innit?
You get smashed for free.
Yeah.
It's nice, man. It's
really good, like gourmet food and that.
Oh, is it? See, again in the boxing United, it was shit. It wasn't nice food.
Well, I took my cousin. It was me and my cousin, and we'd never been. So
all the players are walking past.
Yeah, in the tunnel. Again, shout out to Danny and Ollie and that from the same place from City Square and that top geezers. They put me in there because I do the voiceover for Man City on the VT when you go into the arena. So when you go into the arena, the first voice playing, big thing on the video, it's me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they lay it on for me when I go.
Yeah.
Proper look after me. And so this one time, the first time we get to Tunnel Club, and take my cousin Dale, fucking had a little joint beforehand and that, stinking of the freshest. Walk in there, everyone's proper posh and business orientated, suited and booted, and me and our kid are absolutely hooliganed out,
Stone Island
proper, stinking a piff.
But that again, that's the working man's fucking club, isn't it?
Yeah, we were just shouting our heads off. It was mint, man, and it was just everyone was like, "Fuck's sake."
Yeah, man, but that's who you are, innit? Fuck. I always get a bit like, when you get invited to posh events and stuff, I'm just like, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm still going to be me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
not at Manchester City. It's in the fucking name. It says Manchester, isn't it?
Yeah,
You're going to get some Manx in there. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to happen now and again.
But I mean, again, that's nice. I get like that side of football is becoming more and more like, you know what I mean? It is getting more and more corporate and really flashy. We went last year, wasn't it? We went to, was it Inter Milan we watched?
AC.
AC Milan,
Wow.
see.
Yeah.
So we went to AC Milan and someone sorted you out. Sorted out a couple of tickets, didn't they?
Somehow I managed to blag some, like, there was 3 of us, so we got loads of, like, corporate tickets to go in, and like the Tunnel Club of AC Milan.
Yeah, and it was dead nice, and we had
Food
like
was
really
amazing.
nice food, all that.
Painting and smoking whilst watching the game.
You can smoke outside the stadium. You can drink.
Inside the stadium.
Oh yeah. So
sat up
facing
in
the thing,
fag
yeah.
box watching it, man,
And like it was, but like that's what I mean. So we went inside, and it was like you say, all the gourmet food. It was dead nice, and everyone in suits and all that. Obviously, you know, like the Italians in nice cut suits, looking sick. And I was like, this isn't football.
Yeah.
And then like when we walked outside, like you say, like there was like I remember looking down, there was one guy just kind of stood there with a big fat cigar, and I was like, yes, that's Italian football.
That's
right
it.
there.
Yeah.
But it is, man. It's like
They
that's.
used to smoke on the sideline, didn't you? The managers and that.
Yeah.
Who's that one that's doing it at the
Italian
minute? There's a manager. There's a manager in the Premier League.
I don't even know. No.
Who smokes.
Surely not.
Or he's got like some artificial
vape or
fags.
something, yeah.
But
Can you not
he
smoke a
smokes
vape?
like
That's hilarious.
He smokes like 40 fags. I can't remember who it is.
Can you not smoke a vape on like thinking?
No, it's electric, so you're not allowed in the grounds.
Oh, really?
But he's got somewhat artificial. I can't remember who the fuck it is now. It's one of.
Is it like one of them nicotine type of cigs that done?
It's sort of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but he smoked 40 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's a stressful time as well, innit? You want a cig, I guess,
Yeah.
if you're
Well,
there.
Alex Ferguson used to have his chewing gum, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, is he a big
He's sponsored
smoker?
by Wrigley's or something, was he?
He better have been.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Missed an
Every time you
opportunity
see
if he's
him.
not.
Yeah.
Mate.
Yeah, no, but I think Man United changed massively. It was always going to, because Fergie was such a big part of Man
Yeah.
United's success.
Yeah.
But why that? Again, total
Respect.
outsider.
For me, respect.
For the manager,
think,
that
yeah.
goes because when he left for the first couple of years, we literally went shit pretty much straight away, didn't it?
Yeah.
What? Because it was the same team. What changed there? What apart from him
Again-
going, was it just him going that like kind of fucked it up?
I think that if you've got respect for the manager, the players have then got respect for the manager. The players respect each other. The players then respect the fans, and the fans respect the boardroom. Everyone down to the fucking guy who cleans the boots. I think is like in any job. Like if you're in a studio making an album, if there's one person in there who's a bit of a pain in the ass, it can make it hard work for you.
Yeah, it's got to go.
Exactly.
It's got to go. And it does. It do happen. Someone will just be sat there. Might be someone's mate. Come along.
Yeah.
You know, just knocking the vibe off a bit.
Yeah,
and it's the same if we're on set. If there's one person, it's like clockwork. Once one thing goes wrong, the whole clock will start falling apart, and there's fucking spanners everywhere, bits everywhere. And I do think that's a major thing that Mourinho's missing.
Yeah.
Like Mourinho himself is a brand, I think.
Yeah.
He's more,
Yeah.
I'm Jose Mourinho, not the manager of Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
probably true.
He called himself the special one.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
It's not something we called him.
Oh, did he not?
The people didn't call him that. He called himself.
And
Oh, wow,
he's
that
doing like,
takes some
he's
balls,
constantly
doesn't it?
got his fucking adverts for his watches and shit.
Yeah.
It's like...
He's a
think
brand. He
he's a
definitely
brand.
is, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
And
competing with his players, isn't he?
Yeah, and if you look at fucking like Pep Guardiola, again, he's on that pitch, probably one of the last people on that pitch at the end of every 90 minutes, shaking hands, and I think that creates then a good atmosphere, and everyone in the club's happy, the fans are happy, and I think that can change the game.
Definitely. If you see the All or Nothing Amazon special, Man City.
Oh, the City thing, yeah. I've not seen that.
Unbelievable, and it shows you just how he treats the club, he treats the lads and that, and he's like a dad to them, like he's super
Yeah, did you see that
loving
thing with David Silva
Yeah.
when he had his baby?
Yeah, and the way they treated him, the way the club treated him.
Pep Guardiola had
unbelievable.
David Silva's baby.
Yeah,
Apparently,
yeah, it
fuck?
was,
a
yeah.
surrogate, yeah.
No, David Silva had a baby. Was it during a match?
Premature. No, the baby was premature.
Yeah.
Right.
And so David Silva found it hard to focus, and he had to keep going back to Spain and be with the kid and stuff.
Oh, right.
And Pep and the club super supported him, looked after him, and continued to. And the
That's
kid ended up
mint.
being
Yeah, it's amazing.
super healthy, and this season, beginning of this season, David Silva brought the kid out on the pitch. And
Oh, nice, man.
Amazing
Nice.
moment yesterday. Again, the club
And
really
look how
like
good
a
he's playing
family.
now.
Look how amazing. He's probably one of the most underrated, which
Yeah.
is funny for this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most underrated players.
But
of all
it's-
time.
Well, I've heard
David
his name,
Silva.
so
yeah,
you know,
He's
it means
I
something.
think it's amazing that
Yeah.
again, that sort of thing will make, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if you signed for Man United and you had a problem. It wouldn't surprise me if Paul Pogba and Lukaku and David De Gea, all of those, it wouldn't surprise me if they couldn't knock on Mourinho's door with a problem.
No.
But I don't think he probably won't have the time for him.
I
He'd have a
can
watch.
see that.
Yeah,
He'd
it'd
have
be
a watch
too
for them,
busy
Well,
Yeah.
a discounted watch for them.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Pep Guardiola's got the time.
Yeah.
And it creates that energy and the nice vibes around the club.
Definitely, and it's not just for the senior players as well. You see, like the way he is with Phil Foden,
Yeah,
Brahim
what a
Diaz,
player.
and all these players, and that helped him get a young British sporting personality of the year in like 2017. So again, it's not just with Pep; it's the whole club, top to bottom, the staff, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy there, aren't they?
So that's it. I reckon the problem with what happened with United is when you lost Fergie, who arguably is the greatest manager of our time ever. Yeah. You know, you also get a staff that he works well with, and they know how to work around him and his system, and he takes vital members of that with him, and you know, and you're living off a name and a brand, and this is the way. This is It's not. It's it's a shell because it's a different lineup all the time.
It's just the same name, innit?
That's it.
I mean, there's no denying that he ain't got his foot. That Mourinho's not. He's got his work cut out for him. He's got so much pressure, and it's like, if you draw into Stoke at Old Trafford or whatever, you've got millions of people around the world saying, "Oh, he's shit. He's this. He's that. He's that." Yeah. But I think it's an effort from everyone in the club. It's not. I don't say that it's just Mourinho.
Yeah.
There's probably so many other people behind closed doors. Probably the board, chairman are probably getting on at him, and it's like, it's just.
Are people like? Because I remember, again, coming up from the outside looking in. I remember when like David Moyes was manager, and you had like. Whatever, not MUTV, but the YouTube one, like with that Andy Tate.
So
like,
he's the best thing to come out of Manchester United, Andy Tate.
But like, are people doing that now with Mourinho? Or people like wanting him out? Like, is that the general consensus?
I think they've been wanting him out for a while.
Yeah,
really, it's negative football. It's like the Premier League is moving in such a Pep's kind of again revolutionised stuff. The attacking brand, the high back four, all that. The pace, the speed, intricate passing, and just attacking football. That's what you want to go and see. At the end of the day, football is entertainment.
Exactly.
And as when Chelsea when they had Mourinho and they was doing what they was doing, I imagine being a Chelsea fan in that season, the only fun, joyful day was lifting the cup because every win was fucking boring as shit, and the draws was boring. And I, for one, don't want to go. Spare me money and go and watch
an easy win or like a boring win.
Just, there was footage of a United fan absolutely asleep in the stadium going across YouTube.
Oh, really?
Really gone, and it's like, mate, there's like almost 70,000 people around you. Like, what's going on?
See, because I do see that again because I'm not too passionate about it. Like a lot of my mates on Facebook, obviously being from Manchester. A few of them are City fans, a few of them are United fans, like,
and a couple
just
of them are Grimsby Town fans,
and a couple are Grimsby Town fans.
We're all town, aren't we?
Just seeing that, like, because it's funny for me, not funny, but looking at social media of like how it's changed from when I first started using it, and everyone was like, "Fucking Manchester's red" and all that, and it's all that, and now seeing all my mates like can't even be asked watching them tonight, like,
that's really all
it's
my mates
crazy.
are like that. There's no conversation. The group chat, we used to have. We still have this group chat for the business for Premier Battles, and there's like 5 of us in there. 3 of them are red. One of them's Liverpool, and then there's me.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, for the 2 years that group chat's been open, I've been
all
the time. They're always wanting to, because there's even though we was better or whatever, there was the to and fro's. There was the Wayne Rooney overhead. There was times where they beat us and whatnot, and times they did better than us. So there was always talking. Now I can't get a football conversation out of them.
Because they don't want to talk about
It's amazing. In our group chat, we've got we've got Liverpool fans, we've got United fans, and one of them put in the other day. One of my mates, Kim, he said to my mate Cal, Kim's a Liverpool, Cal's a Man United, and Kim's always caning him whenever United are playing, like, fucking United is shit, this, and then Cal turned around and said, I'm not even watching it, mate, I can't be asked to watch it, and we was like, alright, so you sit there and you say you're a United fan, but you've only just said you're not watching it because you're playing shit, so are you a United fan, or
are you a fan of winning?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's it. I mean, like,
which is what a lot of United fans are.
And strangely enough, that's the culture in. No disrespect to them, but that's the culture in I feel, from what I seen, that was the culture in the States and Canada as far as they looked at sports.
What they wanted to go for the winning.
They kind of support winning teams. It's like we were saying before about the Chicago Bulls and stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone was behind the Bulls in the States at the time, and it was Jordan, Pippen, and then it moved on to the Lakers with Kobe and stuff.
I don't. You might have experienced different, but when I've been over there, there goes the mic,
kicking off.
Get me, it's a United fan.
You might have experienced it different, but like I found when I've been over there, like. Yeah, they get behind the winners and that, but they don't really. They support the teams, but like they'll support any team. They don't. Do you know what I mean? Like my dad, he'll sit and watch any football match, but he's a fucking diehard Blue, and he supports and screams for City.
Yeah.
Over there, like they're not too bothered if their like baseball team loses or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They're like,
as long as the basketball team wins, or there's
it's not as tribalistic. I don't think in terms of that.
It's again, so it's not. They're not like supporting the tribe or the group or anything like that. It's the win, and it's weird because they embrace it. I got a lot of friends over there that are like, I'll be watching a City fucking under-21s game, or I'll be watching Stoke or anything, City versus Stoke, anything like that, and they'll come in like, why the fuck are you watching this? You know you're going to win. And it's like, it's not what it is. We're watching the team.
Yeah, because you want to see
supporting your team.
We're supporting it. Every match I can watch, we're going to watch.
Would you watch like, would you watch, say if Crystal Palace was playing Norwich, would you watch that as well? Are you like that into football?
No. I am that into football, but I need to do something else with me hour and a half than watch Palace.
Yeah, that's true.
But I won't switch it. Yeah, that's it. Simultaneously, but I won't switch it over on like the highlights. Or if I'm sat there doing something, I'll keep up with a game like that. But it's not like, oh shit, 2 o'clock Palace
it's like
Norwich is on.
Background noise. If I'm sat at home doing nothing, like if it's on, you whack it on, but you're not really that bothered.
That's it. But there's City and games that affect Man City. I'll watch them on the edge of my seat.
City though, at the minute, they're just killing it, something else, man.
Yeah.
Like,
with that in mind, then you said you're from pretty much a red family.
Yeah.
And I guess like you're about a similar age to me, innit? So like
32.
I'm 28, so not too far off. So
old bastard.
Like when we were sort of in school, like I can remember, like obviously because of this, glory supporting or whatever. There was very few City fans and that in my
my school was full of City fans.
Oh, was it? Oh, right, okay. So coming from a red family then, what made you go the opposite way? What made you swim against the stream?
Like I went against the stream like that. It was just like there was equal red and blues around me. There's blues in the family. There's reds. My mother and my brother, who was the only people in my immediate family who lived in my house and that at the time, are reds. My brother followed my mother.
Yeah.
Pretty much soon as I seen football, pick Man City.
Don't
know. Too young to comprehend what it was. It was just that was it from the jump.
Because I'm the same on the opposite, I guess.
Might be something so trivial as being a kid and liking blue or liking one of the persons that you're talking that.
Well, again, I only supported United because I liked the kit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it was when I was a kid.
See, that's the thing for me, because I think City have always had really fucking nice kits. I remember being a kid going, City kits are well nice.
Yeah.
I was telling Tomo before, like, this is how much, like, again, my dad wouldn't even get a red car or anything like that. So the other day I had a recall for this audition, and they said, can you wear sort of like 90s sort of casual clothes and try your hardest to get like a 90s football top.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit, when am I going to get, you know what I mean? Like, I had them in the 90s, but I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I had to borrow a City top off my dad to go down. It was the...
did you wear it all the way to London, or did you change it when you got there?
I wore it there. I had my jacket on though. But then, because it's a white and like purplish Kappa one with brother on it.
In yellow. The brother's in yellow.
No, in like a blue, I think.
Yeah.
Do you mean the actual writing?
Yeah.
Might be yellow. It's mainly white.
It's
like the 1997 away kit, I think. Yes.
Bit of a purple bottom. I think brother in yellow.
Yeah, I think so.
Kappa, yeah.
And then it's got the Kappa like stripes down the arm.
Oh,
Kappa and all that.
And the Kappa stripes are blue.
Yes, yeah. So I wore that.
So the brother's in white, actually.
The brother is in white, yeah. And I had like my Adidas trackie on, but I had that up to there. But then when I got to this, because I wasn't trying to hide it, I was just like, not because it was City, I was like, It's just an old T-shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Shirt, though,
it is a nice shirt. My mate,
it's like white, blue at the top with a burgundy stripe.
yes, yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Beautiful
Apparently, because I got home and I sent a picture to my mate who's a blue, and I was like, oh, I've had to wear this all day, getting in the shower now, like joking. And he was like, mate, that's my favourite City top. It's like worth about 100 odd quid, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
So my dad's just made a nice fucking pretty pocket. But like, yeah. So anyway, I was saying I went down to this fucking audition, this recall thing in a City shirt. But I don't know, like, would that be?
What would it take you to wear a Man United top?
Not happening.
So if I offered you, realistically in cash, how much for you to do a show in Manchester wearing a Man United top? 500 grand?
No.
You wouldn't do it for 500 grand?
No. Not at
Shit.
all. It is
Really?
so
realistically, you can buy a house outright for the rest of your life just to do one show in Man United top. I'd do it in a link. For my stag do in Benidorm, all these lot bought me a Lincoln City kit, full kit, and I had to get on the plane. I had to fly to Benidorm. And I had to spend the whole. And what about for your stag do? You'd have to.
Here's the only way I would do that. The only way I would wear a United shirt is if Manchester United themselves put 200 million of their own money into Man City's transfer budget. That's the only
so it's
way
never
going to
happen then.
No.
So what if you was on your stag and you haven't really got a choice if you stag? Do you know what I mean?
Get new mates.
None of us are invited.
I'm at that age now though where like I was in Sports Direct the other day. And I was looking at like the Liverpool kit and looking at like the Tottenham kits. I'm like, they're fucking smart.
That's what I mean, man. There's some nice.
Can I get away with that? No, but I'm a town fan.
I reckon you can if you're not in the same league. I reckon as soon as Grimsby get to the Prem,
which will happen, by the way.
Will happen, 100%. We all believe in you.
We've just been drawn fucking Crystal Palace in a Palace away in the cup.
How far away are Grimsby from the Prem?
What score do you think Grimsby versus Man City would be now? Both full-fledged on the best day.
Fucking hell, I don't know. Probably 8-0, 8-9-0.
And the rest.
Yeah, well, it would be something like that. But I mean,
we'd score one.
Yeah.
At least.
We had a player from you actually, like Shalem Logan. Can you remember Shalem Logan?
He's a pal of mine. From
and I was in Withenshaw with Andy, and we was in the pub, and I said to Andy, I went, fucking hell, looks like Shalem Logan. He used to play for Town. He went, it is. He knows him. I got him over, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I remember that because he was proper buzzing. Like I've grown up with Shane in his older brother Carlos, and I was in his sister's year. But because again, I knew he played for City a bit, and I knew he'd been on loan. I didn't know he'd been on loan to Grimsby, but went over my head. But you were proper buzzing.
But it was one of them. So just talking about the classes, like he came from City. He wasn't in the first team. He's probably like reserves. He came as a right back. I think he played at right. I don't know where he plays now, but he was right back, and in 5 games scored 6-7 goals from right back.
And that was when was that?
That just shows the difference in class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Them times I remember him as well. He was from the same as like Ishmael Miller and all these types of players came through the same time.
He's doing really well.
He's playing at Rangers now.
He's playing somewhere in Scotland,
Aberdeen or
Aberdeen. I think it's Aberdeen.
Something
I think it's Aberdeen.
Yeah.
But he was one of them in school. Like you knew he was going to fucking smash it as a football player.
Yeah.
Like you just go, you could.
Yeah, but you've got to be really careful, especially nowadays with the money that's involved in football. When you get an 18, 19-year-old gets paid all this money, and it's like the love for the game can go, and you'd rather be thinking
it's a shame in it because then there's people out there who fucking would die for that. Like I've got a mate of mine who I know from back home as well, and he played for like again I don't know like United under Summit, under 21s or something. He was going up. He was going to be in the first team or whatever. And he done something to his leg and like just completely football gone. Yeah.
And they don't think about putting money away in it.
No,
I don't think about money like that. It's fucking point, man.
If it weren't for my missus, I wouldn't either. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't think about that at a young age, do you?
So you imagine that's your bread and butter is your legs.
Exactly.
Same with the MMA fighters and all these boxers and the pro wrestlers. I think about that all the time. NFL with the head.
Because the life that they live, like you say, like. The money,
it's gone in a day, innit? Right? You've got to be really careful, man. Which is like, you look at players like Robbie Fowler and that back in the day.
Yeah.
Like real estate mogul and that,
investing
wisely and.
Yeah, look at is it like Giggs has got that hotel football and all that. Like that's what you need to do, don't you? You need to like invest.
You need something,
Especially like say back in the day, like footballers I guess weren't paid especially as much as they are now.
No.
Probably easier then because they had they had to bet just not to make ends meet because they were rich, but they probably were like, right, yeah, this isn't going to last. But these young kids now, mate, they're getting paid like on a week what some people are getting paid like for a year, and so they must be going, yeah, this will last forever. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But it's
one
not.
bad tackle and it's all over.
That's it. And the lifestyles are crazy expensive as well, and it's not like they're just going out there and getting a Vectra and a fucking
they're buying Louis Vuitton shoes, and it's like Gucci shit, and it's mad, and but it can ruin it as well because the love for the sport can go, and then the love for the sport goes, and then the love for the money and the lifestyle comes in, and it's like you can't mix the two. You've either got to be fully committed, or you know what I mean? If your mates are saying, "Oh, let's go out Friday night," I can't. I've got a game tomorrow. You've got to be able to find that right divide.
Because you find as well, like after when the career's gone and they don't have the opportunity to go and play on Saturday anymore, then the love for the game comes right back. Once you sat on your ass twiddling your thumbs, and you've got no money anyway. Yeah, you're very quick to love football again, or love music, or whatever it was.
And
again,
it's hard for them as well, isn't it? Because like I was thinking about this the other day randomly. Like it's the culture as well now. So like. You know, when you listen to music now, a lot of it, yours excluded, like, I'll come on to, like, a lot of it is, like, you know, getting money, spending money, having loads of money and all that. You know, like, all these, like, this mumble rap stuff and all that, like,
shagging and fucking...
Where, like...
Money and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So these young players coming up now are listening to that, going, this is what I want, that's what I want. That's all right for a rapper in wherever who can get them millions and don't have to get up on a Saturday to go to training and that, but, like... Do you know what I mean? Like, say, like, obviously with your music, it's different. You are talking about being skin and the honest truth of actually being skin isn't fucking glamorous or whatever. It's fucking, it's hanging.
It's
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's also the fact that if I want to get pissed the night before, I can still get on stage and perform.
Yeah.
If I get pissed the night before and after I'm expected to perform in front of... in a derby the next day and I've just been signed for 90 million, it's different.
There's a big difference there. And,
so like you said, like, even that, like the whole rock and roll or hip hop lifestyle, you know, the footballers, that's what they're turning into. That's what the basketballers turned into. They're turning into rappers and rock and rollers themselves.
And it works for the odd one. It does work, like you say, like Rooney. Didn't he used to like drink and smoke and all that?
Shag old brasses. Shouts to Wazza.
but like Jack Wilshere.
It's actually my boy him as well, so sorry mate. We got the same surname. But, lovely lad.
But no, so like exactly, like it does work for the odd one, I guess. Do you know what I mean? But it is. You can't all go out, lads, and get absolutely steaming on a Saturday and get up on Sunday and play in a derby.
If you have the potential to be like one of the world's greats, I think you really have to go down to like the absolute fucking science and that, and it's your duty to, like what Ronaldo does and shit. When Ronaldo got shipped off from Real, he had his medical at Juve. They said he's got a body of a
21-year-old. Yeah, and he's 30 something, 32.
Do you know what I mean? He's like, so he's fucking. You're doing the duty to humanity as well, like you dialing back evolution, like how the fuck you're 32 but you figured out how to have the physicality of a 21-year-old
going against science
and like, you know, like fucking 300-500 years ago, whatever it was, men was living to 40 years old, 50 years old,
25 wasn't it? Thinking like there
you go. So Cristiano Ronaldo, so he's 30 plus now, but his physicality is 20 something. So
I think he's double, fucking perfect human, isn't he, man?
He's got to be, man. Look, his hair and everything, man. He's like,
how can you be that
Clark Kent, innit?
Yeah.
He's Clark.
How can you be that ripped?
Yeah.
That rich, that fucking talented. Yeah. That he's just got it all.
He's in it. Yeah. I mean, he's in a world of his. Like I remember again. You know, I remember when he played for us.
Fucking made in a laboratory.
Class.
Scientists have just gone. Let's make him perfect.
What was weird was when Gareth Bale went over and started becoming like him. Like he must have had the same training regimes and all this type of shit, because his stature, his physique changed, his game changed, and it's like, yo, there's something else to the sports science, and really getting to bed at 7 o'clock and having a certain amount of oxygen in your water and being in an isolation tank at this time. And if you think about LeBron James, Ronaldo, Conor McGregor, these top sports personalities in the world, the difference between them and, say for instance, fucking Ashley Young or whoever it is, and an average MMA fighter, it's $100+ million into your training a year, into your nutrition and your sports science and shit.
Did you see that photo of I'm not sure when Bale signed for Real Madrid, but there was a photo of Bale on the leg press thing, So at Tottenham,
Right.
and it was a photo of him with his shorts up so you could see his muscly legs.
Yeah.
And then there was another photo a year later after he'd been at Real Madrid for 6 months.
Right.
His fucking legs was
Insane.
massive.
What are they doing over there?
It's like
They're in the
Like you say, it
laboratory.
must be like you say all the science and that goes
It's
into
sports
it.
science,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like it's like the King of Spain runs that club.
Does
Yeah.
it?
Funnily enough,
there's a lot of
see this
corruption.
painting. This is from my Auntie Christine.
Yeah, it's like a matador or something. Isn't it?
And so this woman actually painted the King of Spain a few times. She was
You
actually
had to?
commissioned to paint the King of
Oh,
Spain a few
mate.
times. And
Yeah, I
she
knew
ended
there
up
was-
doing my stuff with, I might be wrong, but I think it was Watford Football Club or something like that.
Oh, sick.
Cool woman.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big
I knew there was something to do with the
Something to do with the
government.
royalty and the government and that. And
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot
there's a
of-
different...
and they own
there's
it,
untapped
Real
amount of
Madrid.
money.
They own Real Madrid, or they've got something in it, haven't
So
they?
and then Barcelona's its own independent place. The
Yeah, 'cause
Catalans
Barcelona's
and
not
that.
even in
It's like
Barcelona, is it?
It's
No,
not.
no.
Oh
It's in
right,
Catalan.
yeah.
Catalan, so
But
it's not
it's-
Spain. It's Barcelona, but it's not in Spain.
It's still Spain,
Spanish,
innit? I
it's
think they wanted
crazy.
they did a referendum, but I
Yeah,
think
right.
they said let's stay in. But yeah,
Right.
I think
yeah,
it's-
so they
yeah,
also have
Catalonia.
crazy supporters as well,
Yeah.
but their academy has been I reckon that's like, and if you remember when Arsene Wenger first went to the league and that, when he first went to the Prem, he was all about physicality and sports science. And in the first 2 seasons, Arsenal just went fucking ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
Unbeaten season. You see Henry and Perez and the level
Fucking hell,
of
what player
pace they
Henry
had.
was back then.
Unbelievable. That whole team, Bergkamp, all that.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember they were like back in the day when I was a bit more into football in like high
They
school.
was your
Like, they
fierce
were
rival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously Liverpool.
There was that
kind of
game when he was
slipped
at
a
the big
bit.
fight on the pitch. You remember when he was jumping on like elbowing Van Nistelrooy in the
Yeah,
end, and that, like
shit,
it was all
yeah.
went off, and poor Van Nistelrooy got. But I was laughing my bollocks off. I loved it. But he got bandied about like ping pong, mate. Like Keown come with the elbow drop, and
Yeah.
fucking other lad
Shit.
clambered him, and he didn't know where to go. Man, he's just getting.
You
absolutely
can't get away
tucked.
with
It was
that now.
hilarious.
Oh
actually.
mate, yeah. Imagine
Yeah.
half
Away
of
with
that
that
stuff
anymore.
now. Like you say, like I remember that with Rooney. Like when we first got Rooney,
That's
I
when he was
remember
good. When he was angry, that's when he was
that's what I
good.
mean. And then
Yeah.
as soon as he calmed down, it was like,
Do you know what
oh.
they're saying?
I mean, he's still
That's it.
doing great things, still scoring fucking loads of goals for England and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
But he calmed down, and it, like you say, it can go either way, can't he? You know, he probably calmed down, got on one of these
Yeah.
great training regimes and all that, and did everything cool
Yeah.
and by the book. But then.
I don't think he ever does anything by the book.
But then his style kind of dipped a bit then
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
wasn't this angry young
Well, he was
kid
getting
who
played in the
go
wrong
for them
position
tackles.
as well, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
Definitely.
right.
Playing him in the wrong
and
position.
for England as well. And I reckon
Yeah.
for England, he was like a problem with what was going on with us for a while, trying to shoehorn him into the team when other young players should have
Yeah,
been playing
man.
there.
Like
It was-
the
yeah.
World Cup that's just gone goes to show that you don't need your big stars.
That's it.
You need young players who are hungry, who
Who
want
wanna
to
play.
want to win, want to work hard.
Yeah.
And you know, there's no egos in the team.
And that's the way the world works in everything. I think it's all about the carrot that you dangle in front of yourself as opposed to the carrot that's dangled in front of you. Like,
Yeah, man.
you get these gaffers and that will say, whatever your line of work is, your gaffer will say, this is what we're trying to achieve by the end of the year or by whatever. And that's their incentives.
Yeah,
That's
you've got to have your-
You've got to have your own. And, you know, the difference between Ronaldinho, who's my personal favourite player that
Oh
ever
mate, yeah,
existed,
I'm with you on that. It's fucking
his
brilliant.
incentives are different to a Cristiano's. Cristiano is to be the greatest of all time
Yeah.
that ever lived, without a question. That carrot will always be in front of him
Yeah.
because it's like it's superficial. It's down to what he says, what he thinks is the greatest ever. And there's always going to be someone snapping his heels. Neymar's trying, Mbappe's trying.
Yeah,
You know what I
Messi.
mean? Messi, obviously. But that's always going to be there. He's always going to be incentivized. Look, what Eminem, going to music for a minute, Eminem dropped his imaginary carrot in front of him. Like, once you're fulfilled and you're cool, like, why should I aspire to rack my brain for fucking 48
true.
hours over 1-8 bar like he would have done? Do you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
yeah,
why
yeah.
would Ronaldo be on the pitch for another 2 hours at training more than anyone else?
Like you say, it's about setting that goal for yourself, innit? And just fucking
That's it.
having the, like you say, the drive to
That's
do it.
it.
Yeah.
And fighting the people who, like, you know, you'll probably have had it in music, and I know
Yeah.
we've had it in acting and that, like, people going, oh, but this will be good for you. And you're
Yeah.
like, I don't want that. Like, I've had that in the past, like, oh, soap. And I'm like, nah.
No, I thought is this why you stink, or are you on about soap operas?
Soap operas. But you know what I mean? It's the same thing, innit? Like, you know, I bet, you know, Ronaldo may have been offered a lot of money to maybe do the easy way out and shit like that. But
But I suppose that's about your own individuality, innit? You want to
Yeah.
work to be the greatest, which isn't a bad thing. But like Ronaldinho was a team player as well.
Also,
So
definitely team player.
yeah. Whereas Ronaldo, he'd much rather put the ball in than square it. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, 100%.
So just
Ronaldinho was a team player in the bar as well, apparently.
All right, yeah.
So that's why he kind of got a lot of weight and a lot of car crashes. And
yeah.
He had a different rock star, innit, Ronaldinho?
Yeah.
A proper rock star.
But like we was talking about before we was doing the podcast, we was talking about not George Best, we was talking about Gaza.
Yeah.
And about Maradona and how it's changed so much that you wouldn't get away with that now.
No. I remember my mate Sean Coddy's granddad used to tell us at Man City when he used to work at the ground, they used to have a cup of tea and a chip butty at half time.
Wow.
Did you imagine that? Like,
well,
let's
happened recently,
digest
didn't
these
it?
big potatoes and all that and then get back out on the big...
It happened recently, that bloke had a pie against Arsenal.
Yeah, but you know why he did that, don't you?
Publicity.
You know he had a bet on himself.
Oh, did
so
he?
Someone, one of these bet Freds or whatever, noticed he's like a big lad or whatever it is, and then they said, just as a joke, they put up on the finger
50 to 1.
how much for him to eat a pie at, whatever. So he fucking took a pie, put a bet on himself, took a pie, a little pie, didn't he?
Did he get found out then, yeah?
I think he got found out, yeah.
Oh,
to be honest, because I know about it. So he
must
have
He must know about it,
He must know.
Can't imagine you know about it, but Bet Victor don't.
But just listening to this podcast like a bastard. Right.
Mate,
sorry if that is the case. If I've just baited you up like it. My bad.
Have you fucking pioneered it? Yeah, I think we'll pretty much end it there.
Yeah,
then,
man.
Mate. It's been a fucking pleasure.
Absolute
Finally,
pleasure. Thank you.
Coming and having a good old gab with you. I know a load of people on Twitter and that were like, get Shotty on, and it's been fucking nice.
Yeah,
man.
it's been spot on. I'm glad we finally got you in.
Yeah, and I didn't say anything controversial, so here it goes. Fuck the Tories.
Yes, Shotty.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. You've been waiting on the podcast for that.
I'll put my hand on that as well. Fuck them.
There you go.
I'll put my hand on it. I don't know who the fuck you're on about.
Theresa May. You twat.
That was a very cool chat, and for me as well, it was nice to chat about something that I feel so passionate about as well, like in terms of football and sport.
Yeah, I mean, I understood about 30% of it.
Yeah, I noticed she was particularly quiet for this episode, so the listeners are probably a bit buzzing.
Yeah, probably.
No, it was good. I enjoyed it, and you know, and we know that Shotty was not a bit worried, but like he didn't want to have Man United as his subjects, but. I mean, we didn't sit and slag Man United off at all. It was very much a conversation that a lot of Man United fans around the country and the world are having at the minute. That they're not in great form at the minute.
They're not as big as they used to be.
They're not the team they used to be.
And that's fair, dude. That you know, great teams come and go and that, and you know, and for
you
now,
can't be the best all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
And you know, City are having the moment in the sun, and that's nice for them.
Yeah, no, it is good. It's good to see, you know, a Man City fan also praising the great things that Man United have done.
Yeah, and Ferguson and things like that. Like, you know,
yeah.
I think, like you say, I think he said, "Oh, let's do United," but then he was a bit like, "Oh, I don't know," because what he said was they're not really overrated anymore because they're having a hard time. Like you say, he was quite you know, forgiving of that, and like, you know, he's, as he says in the podcast, he's had an hard time
like
growing
he's
up
going
a
to
City
cry
fan.
then, bro.
No, the little finger. He's had an hard time growing up being a City fan when City were doing, you know, pretty poorly.
Yeah.
And now he's enjoying it. He's sat back and watching his eggs come. Is that it? Counting your chickens? What's the?
I don't know.
Something like that, innit? I don't know. But yeah, he's having a great time watching City.
Yeah, and rightly so. You know, they're having the time of their lives, but again, it was something that we didn't want any Man United fans to think, oh, they're sitting and slagging us off for an hour, which wasn't the case. It was nice to sit and have a chat and understand what's going on behind closed doors as well, like, because it's always something happening in a club that you don't necessarily know about. But it was a nice chat. It was good.
It was really nice, and thank you, Shotty, for having us over. And thank you guys for listening once again. And we know we said, obviously, like I say, Georgie, Porter and that, but that will be with you during the week. So it's another little treat, something to look forward to during the week, and it's a nice little chat.
Yeah.
And next week we've got another nice little chat where me and Thomas Tagoose learn something. We had the chat with Susie Gage.
Yeah, Dr. Susie Gage.
Dr. Susie Gage.
That was interesting, man. Like, yeah, you was loving that, wasn't you? You was good because you've always,
man.
you've always like. Well, we won't give away the subject.
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's leave that.
Yeah, let's keep that. But it was a great chat. Yeah, and it was an eye opener, definitely.
Yeah, and we won't keep you for long, guys. Have a good week. Christmas is round the corner, so hope you're feeling well. Hope you're ready for the festive season. If you don't like Christmas, that's fine. Hope you're ready to do whatever, but just stay bloody happy and be good. Be kind.
If you don't like Christmas, it's an excuse for a piss up. So
it is exactly.
Happy.
Which we'll talk more about next week. So toodle pip. Thank you very much.